Imagine this, a policy claims it will sharply reduce carbon emission from cars. Big headlines, big targets, everything sounds ambitious. But what if those reductions exist mostly on paper? What if the policy allows companies to meet targets without actually transforming the sector? This is exactly the concerns raised in the Hindu editorial incremental changes on corporate average fuel efficiency 3, and today we will decode it in UPSC style. Let's start with the issue. India's transport sector is the third largest source of greenhouse gas emission. Think about our roads, rising car ownership, congestion, fuel imports rising, pollution increasing. Now, naturally, governments need stricter emission standards. That's where CIFE norms comes in. CIFE means corporate average fuel efficiency. It tells automobile companies the average emissions of the vehicles you sell must stay below a fixed limit. Now, India is moving from CIFE 2 to CIFE 3, and on paper it looks ambitious. Emission targets drop from 113 grams of carbon dioxide per kilometer to 77 grams by 2031-32. Sounds revolutionary, but the editorial says not so fast. The editorial's core argument here is we are improving the old system instead of replacing it, and that is the difference between incremental reform versus structural transformation. So what are incremental changes? Things like better mileage, stop technology, regenerative brake, better tire pressure system, high ethanol compatible vehicles, all useful. See, regenerative brake means a car is going, if a brake is applied means the energy will turn into heat energy and get wasted. In regenerative brakes, say that in EV vehicle, the regenerative brake system is implemented. Car is growing, brake is applied, the regenerative brake will make the coil inside go in a reverse way, which will create electricity and that will be stored in battery. Okay, this all are useful. But this makes petrol and diesel vehicles slightly better instead of fundamentally changing the transport. Okay, and the editorial is saying that is the problem here because climate change doesn't need minor adjustment, it needs transformation. The editorial says real emission cuts comes through electrification, not just efficient fossil fuel vehicles. Why? Electric mobility can reduce emission deeply, reduce oil input, improve energy security, support climate goals. And this is where the editorial says, see, CIFE 3 is too weak in pushing EV transition. This is where the editorial is saying that the CIFE 3 is too weak in pushing the EV transition. It manages emission but not transforms mobility. That line is very important. Okay, what is that line? It manages emission but not transforms mobility. Okay, this is the core of this editorial. Now let's talk about the loophole in CIFE 3, which the editorial is saying of. See, the policy includes compliance credit, credit trading, credit banking, and super credits. What are super credits? Suppose one electric vehicle counts as three vehicles for compliance. Sounds like incentives. But here is the issue. A company may meet targets statistically without enough real world emission reduction. This is what we call paper compliance. Okay, this is called as paper tigers also. In papers it looks like so amazing, but in real life it is not as efficient or effective as in the paper. See, there is a very important UPSC concept which is compliance is assessed over 3 block years, not annually, meaning pressure is reduced, manufacturers can delay actions, and regulations lose urgency. Okay, this paper complaints is one UPSC concept here. Now, the editorial also touches a policy politics. There was controversy. There was a controversy over special treatment for small cars. Remember, Maruti Suzuki dominates this segment. A carve-out could have delayed cleaner transition. That explicit exemptions may be gone. Here, the editorial argues it has been replaced by softer alternatives, different routes, same dilution. Okay, why this matter behind environment? See, this is not only an environmental issue. Okay, it is also about energy security. India imports huge amount of fossil fuel. When global oil prices rises, inflation rises. Current accounts pressure rises, macroeconomics raise the risk. So EV transition is not just climate policy, it is economic policy, strategy policy, and energy policy. See, this is classic for GS3 linkage. Okay, for UPSC. Okay, so what should the policy do? What is the editorial suggest? See, it suggests sharper incentives for EV vehicles, stronger emission regulations, fewer compliance loopholes, real pressure for technological transformation. Because without that, CAFE3 may reduce emission in spreadsheet, not in the atmosphere. Okay, this is what the this is what we can derive from the editorial. So here is the takeaway. The editorial teaches us that incremental reform can improve systems, but some crises like climate change need structural transformation. Okay, better petrol cars may help, but only electrification can significantly decarbonize transport related climate change issues. That is the editorial message. Okay, and see, according to me, some betterment is better than no improvement actually. Okay, see, some improvement is better than no improvement. So here I think the policy helps in some improvement. It's better than no improvement, but yeah, based on the editorial and current scenarios, yeah, transformative changes also needed. Okay, so here I conclude the editorial explanation. If you have any doubts, put in the comment section. Thank you.